Okay, here's another ALEKS problem dealing with moles and mole conversions and understanding mass a little bit. And the question is, why does ALEKS ask these questions? Again, ours is not the reason why. Ours is but to do and die. So let's read this problem and see where we're at. A penny has a mass of 2.5 grams, and the moon has a mass of 7.35 times 10 to the 22nd kilograms. And use this information to answer the questions below. So we're going to have moles. What is the mass of 1 mole of pennies? How many moles of pennies have a mass that is equal to the mass of the moon? So let's write down some conversion factors that we definitely are going to know here. So we know that there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd anything, atoms or anything like that, in 1 mole. So any unit. There are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd any unit in 1 mole. Okay, and we also know that there are 2.50 grams in 1 penny. So that's a conversion factor. And we also know that the moon is equal to that pretty big guy right there. So let's see if we can answer some of these problems. What is the mass of 1 mole of pennies? All right, let's start there. All right, so here's for the first one. So I have 1 mole of pennies, and what's the mass in that 1 mole of pennies? Well, I know that I can convert let's put pennies as our unit right there. I know that there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd pennies in 1 mole. All right, so let's go ahead and use that. So I know in 1 mole of pennies, there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd pennies in 1 mole of pennies. All right, I cancel my units, moles of pennies, moles of pennies. I ask myself, is this a true statement? In 1 mole of pennies, there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd pennies. That is a true statement. And so finally now I can say, well, look, in 1 penny, because my pennies will cancel out there, then there are 2.50 grams. So I know that in 1 penny, pennies, I'll just write that, there are 2.50 grams. So now my pennies, a penny will cancel with a penny, and I'm left with grams that are found in 1 mole of penny. I'll let you do that math, but that is how I would set up that first one. So I write down what I know, I look at conversion factors, and I just use them to cancel out my units. I let the dimensions guide where I need to go. All right, let's look at that second one. How many moles of pennies have a mass equal to the mass of the moon? Okay, so I'm going to start with the mass of the moon, and I better end up with moles of pennies. And I'm going to use these same conversion factors that I have here. All right, so let's write down that mass of the moon. It is 7.35 times 10 to the 22nd kilograms. All right, so I look at my conversion factors and I say, well, kilograms is not going to be helpful for me at all. So I'm going to get that into grams, and that's because I have grams right there. I have grams, and so I need to get there. So I say in 1 kilogram, there are 1,000 grams. Is that a true statement? It is. Do my units cancel? They do. Okay, so I'm up to grams right now. And I know that there are 2.50 grams in 1 penny. And how do I know that? It's been given to me right here. And notice with the conversion factor, I can flip that on either side. I can put the numerator in the denominator and vice versa. Okay, I can flip that conversion factor as I need to. All right, do my grams cancel out? They do. Now I'm left with pennies. All right, I'm in units of pennies. Well, look here, I've got units of pennies right there. And so again, I'm going to flip that conversion factor and say that there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd pennies in 1 mole. Do the units of penny cancel out? They absolutely do. And is this a true statement? That in 1 mole there are 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd pennies. That absolutely is a true statement. So I am left with moles of pennies, and that is exactly what they're asking right here. And so using this math, again, I'm not going to put it into a calculator. This is how you would set up these problems. And you can put those in the calculator as you need to. All right, these are so doable. And how do I do them? I just let my dimensions, my units guide me. I write down conversion factors that I know, and I have those up here, and I just keep looking up to see what units I can use and what conversion factor can I use to cancel things out. And that will guide me, and that does guide me in these. Again, I think we can do these. Ours is to do and die, and in this case, we don't need to die. We can absolutely do.